The controversy has arrived once again, this time in the form of a recent article by Kotaku. The article shines a light on what we've recently discussed regarding the massive drop-off of players within Dreams, leaving most new quality creations struggling. Is Dreams truly dying as they claim? Hey, welcome to Little Big Animation. We are all about creating inspiring video games and animations to unleash your imagination, so you can realise your own creative dreams and share those with the world. Back in September, I released a video which highlighted some concerns surrounding the gradual drop-off in active players, speculating what the causes could be as well as offering possible solutions. The feedback on that video was tremendous, with a lot of you contributing with your own solutions and like-minded frustrations. Most seem to be in agreement that Media Molecule and Sony need to do more in order to boost Dreams' fortunes, but of course there will also be some who don't quite see it as bad as the rest of us do. The most common complaints included the lack of online multiplayer, VR being prioritised, the search UI needing a revamp, a need for more ready-made templates for beginners, and perhaps the idea that the play side of things should be free to encourage more to jump in. I'll dive deeper into the community reactions in a future video, but for now, let's look at and give a fair reaction to the Kotaku article. The title of the article really hits home. The PS4's spectacular Dreams game is hurting from a lack of players. I think everyone can agree on some level that Dreams is certainly hurting despite a lot of positivity from its dedicated community. There's no denying that if Dreams doesn't evolve soon, it will forever remain in niche obscurity. As someone who creates and plays Dreams regularly, I know I'll always stick with Dreams, but I am not the type of person Dreams has to convince at this moment in time. I can critique and still enjoy Dreams for everything that it offers. Let's be honest, with these tools I can make advanced video games, animated films, and anything else that brings me joy. Absolutely none of this should be taken for granted, but criticism still has to be levelled, otherwise the game and the developers won't be pushed further. I like to think that the original video was some sort of catalyst for change, a little nudge in the right direction. We certainly saw a reaction in terms of recruitment. Dreams now has an official curator to sort through droves of user content, as well as a professional editor who will seemingly help to craft more editorial pieces to highlight just how amazing Dreams is and can be moving forward. This is what I mean by criticism, more specifically constructive criticism. There was some noise and change began to take form. A 10-year plan for Dreams is all well and good, but if it's struggling this early on, then big things need to be done. There needs to be more energy put into ensuring that Dreams is a monumental success. It's all too casual from what I've witnessed. Without the players or more creators sparing time to also play, it not only hurts Dreams as an ecosystem, but also individual creators who dedicate an obscene amount of time pouring their hearts and souls and pretty much their entire existence into presenting something special for others to enjoy, only for it to go unnoticed or go niche in itself. I've heard the argument that creators should create for themselves, which is not wrong, but when you're creating lengthy projects, there's no denying that they are also being created to share their love of creation with the world, not just themselves. That's the entire ethos of this channel. I've been working on a game for over a year now, and I frequently keep updated with another creator who is slaving over a truly outstanding creation. To release projects like those to a whimper would be truly heartbreaking. The article points out just how amazing and varied Dreams is, with its wealth of content including incredible graphical showcases, multiple gaming genres, and impressive music catering to all tastes. To those who love Dreams, they are no stranger to any of this. I've played plenty of creations which impressed me, but at the same time, my primary reason for loading up Dreams, as I'm sure is the case with the vast majority of others, is to create. What about the people who don't want to create, or those with only a mild interest? What has been done to translate the appeal of this vast creative package and get those in that boat interested? That's the thing about Dreams. There is a lot of value there even for a player, it's just not getting across very well. The team responsible for this are no doubt working hard to make that happen, but it's still very much like a brick wall. Plenty still don't understand what this offers as a game. It's one more piece to this complex puzzle. One of the most prominent creators in Dreams, Martin LeBlanc, who is a professional illustrator, was briefly interviewed to gather his thoughts on the Creative Suite and how it compares to external software he was traditionally used to working with. It's clear that Dreams offers more accessibility when you compare to professional packages, and there's a lot of potential for artists to monetize themselves through Dreams. But again, this appeals to creative types. One way which would certainly raise player eyebrows is if more professional quality games were available to play, whether that's directly from themselves or through contracted work utilising the skills of Martin. We can't forget that the vast majority of community creators are amateurs, hobbyists, enthusiasts, and in addition to that, don't have enough free time to really make a dent in the short term at least. Players can come for the big, polished experiences such as Art's Dream and stay for the wealth of growing community creations. It was easier in Little Big Planet, as solo hobbyists could make an excellent level or short game within a few weeks. Dreams is an entirely different beast. It's more advanced in many good ways, but naturally that also raises some hefty difficulty spikes and challenges. Lady Lex is another content creator who has noticed the decay within Dreams and has even taken it upon herself to try and improve the fortunes of the game. In addition to her YouTube channel, where she highlights everything worth your attention, there are also curated playlists within Dreams, where she compiles it all in one handy place ready to be played instantly. The trouble here is that curators who sort through and manage everything in the Dreamiverse has to offer don't receive enough exposure, if any at all. You have to be constantly redirected to even come across it, or do a little digging for yourself. It seems simple enough to take it on yourself, but we all know that most people don't have the patience or time to muck around. It's another accessibility issue that needs to be resolved. Not necessarily to fix the game, but anything that makes things easier to use can only be a good thing. You've got other YouTubers who try to spread the word of Dreams, including Gribble Grunger, Ugly Sofa Gaming, Project Genesis, etc. But the more I think about it, the more I feel like we are doing most of the hard work. This isn't directly at more so towards Sony, since they aren't providing adequate marketing and support for Dreams. It just seems crazy why they wouldn't put more effort into something with so much potential. But then I remember the grave they dug for the Vita, and well, that says everything. Wasted potential. I don't want to see this happen to Dreams or as a whole. It's also a very difficult thing to talk about, as none of us know what goes on behind the scenes. Do Sony and have this master plan, and they are just laughing at how silly and desperate we have become? Whether that's the case or not, it would be nice to see more communication from Take the release of the PS5. Plenty of studios acknowledged its existence, but remained quiet. It wasn't until the community stress tested the game on PS5 that we got to grips with how the game would perform via backwards compatibility. So many secrets, some of which can be good, but it just feels like most of the time we are staring into the abyss, and all we can do as a result is talk and theorise. Let's hope after this 10-year plan has come to fruition that we can look back and say confidently that and Sony had this in the bag the entire time. I want to be wrong, you want to be wrong, but until we see any clear signs of that happening, we will unfortunately continue on this cycle of doubt mixed with hope. I don't think Dreams will die in the traditional sense. There will always be a creative community powering it along. It just won't hit any real heights and fade until it's nothing but a shadow of what it could have been. It's nice that games journalists take the time to create pieces on Dreams, even if they are to highlight a problem. But at the same time, I wish they could cover Dreams a lot more. Similarly to how they continue to feature the same games time and time again. I understand that more popular games take precedence, they are also a business and have to go where the people are. But just as a side thought, I'd like to see more. Imagine if we had miniature reviews of some of the best games and new releases to come from Dreams. I know for a fact I would be elated if my full survival horror game could be reviewed, previewed, even interviewed, just like what we would expect from the real games. You can't stack an amateur Dreams project up against professional games, of course, so no real score would be required for a review, and some leniency has to be put in place, but for the most part I think this would be a great idea, and it would bridge the gap between traditional game development and releases from within Dreams. What do you think will improve Dreams? How can we get more players involved? Let's discuss down in the comments below, and subscribe if you're new here. We are all about creating inspiring video games and animations to unleash your imagination, so you can realise your own creative dreams and share those with the world. If you'd like to support us on our quest to provide you with the very best inspiring content, consider becoming a channel member by clicking on the join button below, which comes with additional exclusive perks such as early access to our demos, behind the scenes content, your name in the credits, along with custom channel badges and emojis. You can also explore our Patreon page or our Teespring store if you'd like to get your hands on some cool new merch. All links can be found in the description below. Thank you. Would you like to see even more inspiring content? Click on one of our videos on your screen now. You can also subscribe by clicking on our little red imp. See you in the next Dreams video.